Hey guys, Jacob here and welcome to another episode of Selling Partner API tutorials. After creating the last video on how to set up SP API from scratch and do a sample request using Postman, we got incredible feedback from you and I decided to actually cover the next topic, which is actually also requested by you many times. So today we'll be talking about Selling Partner API for notifications. We'll go through Notifications API and Reports API. We will actually get the notifications when the report is ready. We'll set up the SQS, so the special queue in AWS. We'll actually build it in Python, and then I have a special bonus for you by the end of this video. It's about setting up the Lambda function. So we'll configure the triggers, so whenever there's a new notification, it will trigger the Lambda function, and the Lambda function will actually do something, and I'll talk about it in a moment. So that's what we'll be doing in the video. Let's begin. So Selling Partner API for notifications, how to use the Notifications API and Reports API. So to start, actually we'll have to go and talk a little bit about the Notifications API. In short, what Notifications API does is you can subscribe to a notification and get it instead of constantly pulling for data. So for example, on my channel, I also presented you how to use Reports API using Python. And as you remember, we were generating the report and then we had to ask for it multiple times till it's ready, because some of the reports, they require a lot of time to process. And of course, by requesting the report and asking if it's ready, you can exceed API limit. Therefore, notifications is actually the second way of pulling the reports, because once the report is ready, you can get it right away with the notification. So overall, when it comes to notifications, actually, let's go to documentation for a moment. You have a couple of terminology to understand, in particular, those two. I would say Amazon Event Bridge and Amazon Simple Queue Service, Amazon SQS. We'll actually cover Amazon SQS in this video. If we get enough positive feedback in this video and actually you will comment out, I will make sure to also cover the Event Bridge video in the future. So when it comes to notifications workflow, pretty much there are different things you can get from Amazon. For some of them, you actually need to, you actually have to create the Event Bridge workflow. So for example, if you want to get the branded item content change information, then you need to get it through the Event Bridge. If you want to see whenever there's a change to the product type of an ASIN, then of course you also have to do it. And when it comes to Amazon SQS workflow, there's much more notifications that you can receive. So for example, account status changed. You can actually get a notification whenever there was any account status change for the account, and an offer change. So pretty much whenever there was any change to the top of 20 offers by condition, or if the external price changes for an item listed by the seller. So this is actually pretty interesting. You can see the fee promotion, order status change, pricing health, really important. And what we'll cover actually in this video is report processing finished. So we covered already the Reports API. But let me go next slide. We already covered it. Actually, the API provides multiple different reports that normally you have to download manually from Sales Central. Of course, nowadays, if you want to stay ahead of your competitors, you have to automate your business. Therefore, you have to create those automations using the API. So what you can do is, for example, you can monitor inventory, you can track orders for fulfillment, you can get tax information, track returns and seller performance, and actually much more. We've built multiple automations for our clients at Deltologic. So if you ever need help, just consider writing to us. You can leave the comment or go to our website. Anyway, let's continue. There are three principal workflows for generating the reports. Those are requesting a report, scheduling a report, and retrieving automatically generated reports. What we covered also is we already request a report by doing it through API and using Python in one of the videos on this channel. And now we will actually do it through the Notifications API. Now, going to the Reports API. So actually here you have all of the Yeah, exactly. You have different types of reports with their specific names. So if you want to request the report, you need to use one of those report types. Let's go back to our presentation. So for this video, so for the demo, first of all, if you are new, I consider watching the first video that I released some time ago. It's about registering as a developer for Amazon Seller Central, creating AWS role, and creating the app in a Seller Central. So all of those, it's pretty much need it if you want to use the API, because you need to have the AWS account so you can actually get your keys, and that enables you to use the API. And today we'll be going to AWS account to create the SQS, so the queue. And for this, you can just watch this video. So how to connect to Amazon SP API and make sample requests. I guarantee you that after watching this video, you will make a successful call to Selling Partner API. So let's continue. Live demo that we'll do today is actually set up the SQS instance. Live coding example using the reports API. We'll actually connect to the SQS and create the report. We'll pull notification from the queue. We'll see it live. And in the end, as a special bonus from me, we will configure AWS Lambda with a trigger on the new notification. So I'm excited. Let's begin. All right, so to start, we'll need two things. First of all, your favorite code editor. For purpose of this video, I will use Jupyter Notebook, but you can use PyCharm, Visual Studio Code. You can even use Notepad. For me, it's just a very good environment where I can go step by step through the points that I want to show you. And therefore, I think it's just the best for this video. Now let's log into AWS account. So this account you already have by following the previous video, and we'll have to go to SQS, Simple Queue Service. For you, it's probably the homepage of it. You'll have to create your first SQS queue. I actually already have one for this video, but of course we'll create a new one. So let's create a new queue. We'll have to name it. I'll call it YouTube SP API. Here we'll just click create queue. It's a basic queue. All right, YouTube SP API. Now we'll need RN and URL of this queue. So let's copy it. Now what we'll have to do is, let's copy RN again. It will be needed. We'll have to edit the access policy to it. Let's create for policy generator. All right, so for principal, we need to use this. This is actually some SP API account, and this is super important. I actually didn't manage to configure it correctly because I had no idea what is principal. I couldn't really find much information about it in the documentation. Actually here, all right, in step 2, you have to set this principal to this number. They don't really tell you why, but apparently this is super important. Now for the permissions, we go with get queue attributes and send message. And now for the RN, this is the RN that we already copied. I'll make sure to copy it again. And add statement, generate, copy it, go back and paste it here. All right, make sure that it looks the same, otherwise it won't work for you. Save. Great, so we have our queue set up. Now we have to actually create subscriptions for the notifications. So let's go to code and import additional libraries that we need. We'll be using the Python Amazon SP API library just so it's actually much easier to do. So make sure to install it in your environment, and we'll be using both of free. So make sure that you also install it in your environment. All right, now you will need your keys.json. This is exactly the same keys.json as in the previous video. Pretty much you'll get from there all of the credentials necessary to connect to Amazon SP API. And then we'll store it in a credentials dictionary. So this is a very simple function. We just open file, the JSON, we reread it. We need one more library for typing. I just added it extra here. Anyway, and JSON. All right, we have our credentials already stored here. Now let's connect to the notifications API. We'll create our notification client. I'm using Marketplace Polish. It's actually configured also in Seller Central. It might be different for you, so make sure that you put the correct market here. Now, first thing we have to do is actually create the SQS destination. So in order to do it, we can use our client and use function create destination. Now here we just need to put something, can be SP API destination, can be SP API YouTube destination, for example. QRN, this is the one that we have here, responsible for our queue. Let's print it. Okay, it's creating the destination, and as we see here already, we got our destination. Now let's retrieve the ID. So it's pretty simple. We just got the destination ID. We can print it here. And now we'll have to subscribe for certain notification types for this. So going back again, for Amazon SQS, you have different notifications type, and you should basically put the ones that you need. In our video, we can just use one, but we can also, actually, I'll show you a simple for loop that you can iterate over to create more of them. So this is our SQS notification type with multiple different notification types. All right, so what do we have? Create subscription, SQS notification type, then destination ID, SQS destination ID. I just edited it here, so let's run it. Let's create those destinations. So as you see, we're actually creating the subscriptions right now for all of the notifications types. So we can actually subscribe to all of those notifications types. Now our queue is set up. So what we can do is, let's go to AWS. Let's open our queue. Let's send and receive messages. And now let's create the report. So going back to let's create the reports client. So we'll put the credentials, marketplace, Polish, and let's create the report. So we got it here. Let's actually get the report. So it's there. We have the report ID. We can get the data payload. So first of all, we are getting that report. As you see, it's in progress. So let's check it out right now. Let's go and let's pull for messages. And as you see here, it's already there. Report process finished. So actually it's already finished. If we get the report again, you see it's done. It's there. Perfect. So also open it here. As you see, get merchant listing all data. We got our report. So it's working. We can, as addition, for example, and send a message here to just check if this works. Now we should have two messages actually. So we have also our test message. Now I'll show you something that you can also read those messages using Python. So let me show you here. Let's get our SQS through both of three clients. This is basically Python wrapper to gather access to AWS. We have a region name US East. We have our credentials that we can reuse also here. So that's the SQS. And now what we'll do is receive messages from SQS queue. So we'll get the SQS receive message. We can pull, for example, just one message. Let's do it. Let's execute. And now what we can do is messages. And you see here that we get our body test. Now let's create one more report. So get merchant listing. We can do some different. For example, I'm not sure if on this account if I have everything, so let's do merchant listing data, for example, just it's different report. Okay, it's in a queue. Let's wait for it. But actually we can check our message here if we gather. So it's still in a queue. It might not be in the notifications yet because we are getting the notifications once the report is ready. It's actually in progress. Okay, so this report takes, it's one of those reports that takes some time. So that's why it's there. Oh, actually, I just received it. Seems like get merchant all data and get merchant listings data. So it's actually done. We can also get it here as a message. So get merchant listings data. You see here, we got this, so we can actually, continue with it. You can retrieve the report. You can get this ID. The possibilities are unlimited. I also showed this in the previous video when we went and created the charts out of the reports from the data. We parsed the report. We gather all of the data from it, right? So here it's more about showing you the notifications API and the reports API. And as you see here, it's all working. And now going to the third point, I will show you how to configure AWS Lambda with a trigger on a new notification. So let's go to Lambda triggers. Now here we'll have to configure Lambda function trigger. You'll have to create a new function. We don't have it yet, so I'll probably have to create a new Lambda function. So let's go to a Lambda dashboard. Let's create a function. Let's do YouTube SPA API. I will do Python. Okay, here we don't have to change anything. It's creating the function. Okay, so this is our Lambda function. What we can do is we can print the event here just to make sure we can deploy it. And now we want to execute it. So let's go to Amazon SQS again. Let's go to Lambda trigger, configure Lambda trigger, choose Lambda function. This is our Lambda function. Save. Now we don't have the permission on there. We'll have to add it. So we have to go to our Lambda function. Let's go to configuration. Okay, we'll have to go here. Your role name. We have to click here. This is our role. And now we have to add the permission, attach policies, and find SQS. Now for the SQS, I basically recommend to just give you this SQS Lambda function, queue execution role, add permission. You will see that now you have the read and write access for SQS, and for CloudWatch also write. So that's perfect. Now let's go back where we had it here. Let's again click save. Now it worked. So we have our Lambda function connected. It's actually now Lambda should be triggering every time we got the new notification. So let's go to YouTube SPA API Lambda again. Let's click monitor, and we should get the logs right here. You can also go to CloudWatch to check your logs. So let me run the new report by using our, let's create a new report here. So for example, here, I'll create the report. This report just was taking long. So it's in a queue now. Let's wait a moment. All right, seems like it's done. Let's go to CloudWatch. All right, as you see here, we got our event. We can check here, get merchant listings data. So pretty much here in the Lambda function, you have unlimited possibilities. For example, you can send the email with the report to your clients. Once the report is ready, you can create a connection to a Jira or a Notion API and create a new ticket. If something happens to your account or of one of your client's account, you can create a notification via Slack, but also when something happened with your account. So again, there's endless possibilities once you create the connection to the Lambda. Now, as you see, we covered everything in our agenda for today. I'll make sure to include a more comprehensive piece of code in a GitHub repository, so you can actually follow through the tutorial using those functions in one single piece. This is some bonus also from my side. And now, as always, if you need help, we are always here to help at Deltologic. We actually are a verified Amazon partner, and we build solutions for Amazon sellers, agencies, and aggregators on a daily basis. We have a team of 20 engineers on board, so if you ever want to build your own SaaS or internal automation related to Amazon, we are here to help. We already help multiple clients across the globe who are selling online or managing Amazon accounts. So if you feel like you may need to use some help, feel free to go on our website at deltologic.com and send an email, submit the form, or just use our chat. Thank you for watching. If you don't subscribe, please make sure to subscribe. I'm dropping those videos every week, and you can learn a lot about automations on marketplaces. I see you in the next one.